Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye and this is my world. Okay, today we're going to talk about the independent woman. And what does it mean to be independent? Okay? Um Before we get started, I do want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, all of the new subscribers, and welcome to those of you who have been with me from the beginning. I appreciate you so very much. Now, today I decided to come outside because it's a beautiful day and I've been working on the garden, so I thought that I would film from the garden. And I wanted to mention uh, to go outside for you, to go outside because when you go out into nature, it really helps to ground you, to make you feel more balanced, and you can think clearer. You understand? Any challenges that you have in your life, just go outside and relax and enjoy the environment. It really will make a difference in your life. Okay? Now, being independent, what does that mean? You know, I get comments on the channel from men um, who say that independent women are masculine, and that's not true. That's not true at all. Being independent does not mean that you are masculine. What it means is that you are not looking or you are not needing for someone else to support you. That's what it means. That you can stand on your own 2 feet, you understand? And you can provide the life you want from your own efforts. That's what it means. You don't feel the need for someone else to support you. You realize your own strength and what you can do on your own. And you can be happy being independent. You know, many ladies feel like if they don't have a man around, they're not going to be happy. But I'm going to tell you something. Not having a man around sometimes, you can be happier because, a relationship is a wonderful thing, but it's work. And if you are with the right partner and you work together, you can have a beautiful life. But if by chance you've chose the wrong partner, your life could be a living hell. And I don't see any reason for you to stay in hell when you don't have to. Ladies, work on yourself to be independent. You can still have a mate and be independent. You understand? You can still have a mate and you can still be married and be independent, which means that you don't rely on your spouse for support. Now, if you're married and if you're in a relationship, you will require your male companion to provide for you. Understand? Providing for you and being a codependent is two different things. You understand? Being a codependent is that you can't move unless he funds your movement. You understand? You are not able to support yourself. That's being a dependent. And you're codependent on your spouse to provide a stable income for you because you feel like you can't do it yourself. I believe it's better if you can provide for yourself. You understand? And this way, you won't feel the need to submit to him just to get the things that you need. If you're independent and you're stable, financially stable in your own right, you can do whatever you need to do to make you happy. You got your own money. You don't have to go crawling to him to ask him for permission. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. This is another thing that I've noticed. Women who are married and they are financially stable in their own right, some of these men make you feel like you can't spend your own money without asking for permission from him. I personally would not be subjected to that. If I'm making my own money, then I can make my own decisions. And that's the way it is. But you can do this when you're independent. You understand? I get so many letters from women who want to know what to do, and they are dependent on their husbands to support their living. You understand? You have given all your power away. You've given it all away. But it's not too late. You can get your power back, no matter what your situation is. Whether you are in a relationship or a marriage, you can still get your power back. But you have to work on yourself to do that. It's work. You understand? You got to start believing in yourself. Believing that you can have the life that you want by creating it yourself and not looking for someone else to create it for you. You see, it's too many women out here. That's the reason they want to get married, because they want the man to support them. You understand? Listen, in today's age, I don't know if you really want to be in a situation like that. I think it's better to be independent, whether you're married or in a relationship. This way, you don't feel the pressure to submit to your spouse when it comes to finances. If you're making your own money, you won't feel a need. Now, you can talk it over if he wants to talk it over or whatever, but you won't have to go ask for permission if you can spend $1, if it's your dollar. Right. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Ladies, don't be afraid to be independent. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing. And for those of you who are still dependent on someone else, it's not too late for you. You need to take your power back. And by that I mean you need to go inside, you need to meditate, raise your vibration so you can stand on your own 2 feet no matter what. No matter what. Okay? Now, let's get into a couple of these letters, and then we'll see what's going on here. And the first letter really inspired this video. It's about independent women. Okay, here we go. My concern is, what do you do when you are no longer independent and people like to put you down for it, complain about it, make you feel that you are a burden and want you off their backs? Well, this is how it is when you're dependent on people. They treat you kind of off. Okay? I ask this because I have always pursued academic study and have worked, whether part-time or full-time, in between my studies. When I was working on my doctoral degree, I fell ill. That was back in 2011. To this day, I have not finished the degree. That shouldn't have anything to do with you being independent, whether you have a degree or not. You understand? You're using this just as an excuse. You can still work on your independence whether you have a degree or not. Okay? A few years ago, I developed chronic pain in my body, and it does not go away. I don't work, and it's hard to be productive as I used to be. I depend on my sister and my dad, and they act like they are tired of me. Yeah, people treat you kind of hanky when you're dependent on them. They really do. I don't care what kind of relative. I don't care if it's your mother, your father, your sister, your brother. It doesn't matter. If you are dependent on them, they can treat you kind of hanky. Okay? I am also single, not dating, and have no children. What can I do when I have lost my independence and life as I know it, as I struggle to put my life back together and have to deal with negative family who put me down? Well, sometimes you have to do what you have to do until you can get back on your feet again. Listen, I know how that feels. I've been there. You understand? I have had people tell me, every time I see you, you need something. I've had people to tell me that. You understand? Putting you down and making you feel bad because you need them for something. You understand? Work on being independent again. Now, I understand that maybe you're not able to do the things that you used to do, but you can do something. You can do something. And what I'm going to suggest to you is to go inside yourself. Go inside yourself. Find a quiet place to be with yourself and meditate. Listen. You see, praying is asking. Meditation is listening. You understand? When you meditate, you're listening for the answers. And that's what I want you to do. And if you can go outside, it's the best way. Just go outside and just sit quietly for a while. And listen to what comes to you. And ask the divine for what you want. If you want to make money, income, whatever you need, ask for it during the time when you're meditating. And listen for the answer. Now, sometimes the answer would just come, or sometimes you would get intuition to go in a certain direction or to do a certain thing. That's your answer. You understand? When you get an urge to do something, and it may be something that's out of the ordinary for you, do it. Go with your intuition, and that may lead you to your happiness. You understand? Your intuition is your spiritual guide. You understand? So when you ask the divine for something, listen to it. Listen to it. And be patient for the answer. You see, a lot of times in this day and age, people are in too much of a hurry. They're in too much of a hurry. They don't want to wait. They want to make it happen. And a lot of times when you make things happen yourself, it's going against the tide. It's going against your own better good. Listen to your intuition. And when you get an urge to make a step, make a step. You understand? Trust it. It's your internal guide. Okay? So I hope that you understand and that you follow this advice. And my advice to you is go inside yourself, because that's where the answer is. Understand? To all of your challenges. So let's go to another letter and see what we have here. Okay? All right, here's another young lady. I am a woman in her mid-30s who owns a modest home and works as an attorney. Over the pandemic, I became very depressed and lonely and yearned for a family more than ever. Without me knowing it, my mother set me up with a date with a family friend, and I hit it off with him. Well, good for you. He seemed like he was handpicked for me and sent from God. Oh, okay. I hope you proceeded with caution. Okay. Fast forward a few months, I decided to break my 2-year celibacy and have relations with this man. Soon thereafter, I became pregnant. Almost immediately, the honeymoon was over, and fighting replaced what seemed to be a happy relationship. I suppose the fighting started because he wasn't he wasn't looking to be a father. It looked like he was just looking to have sex. Okay? So let's see what happened. He moved out of my house. Okay. You didn't say that he moved in. You said that you were in a modest home, but now you say that after you got pregnant, he moved out and got an apartment. It seems like he didn't really want any part of this, and that's why he left you. Now, our child is 1. We have been trying to make amends, rekindle a relationship, and perhaps move in together to raise our child together. However, I noticed he is not making an effort to propose marriage. Why would you think that? Just because you got pregnant, now you're looking for him to propose to marry you? He's already moved out and showed you that he wants no part of this at all. So, to add insult to injury, he wants to move into another apartment together and not a house. Well, I don't understand that. You already have a home, and it seems like your home suits you. And if I were you, I would not move out of my home to suit him, just to be with him. I think that would be a mistake if you did that. All right, let's see what else you say here. Even though I may have moved too impulsively, I do not want to continue to make disastrous mistakes. And I think moving out of your home into an apartment to be with him would be a disastrous mistake. It's almost like he wants you to lose your home. It's almost like that's what he wants. Now let's see what else you say here. Something is telling me not to move in with him before marriage. Something's telling me that you shouldn't marry him, period. That's what something's telling me. It doesn't look like a good situation. And you say, at least without a proposal and a ring. Ladies, let me stop right here. Why is marriage so important? Why is it so important? Now, I understand, that you want marriage, and I'm not trying to talk marriage down. I really am not trying to talk it down. But you already started off on the wrong foot. Your foundation is already shaky. I don't see how you can build a good marriage on what has transpired already in this relationship. Understand? So let's see here. What would he need to work hard for if he has a live-in playwife already without needing to buy a ring and make a public declaration of our relationship to the world? Should I force myself to make the relationship work because we have a child? Is it too much to demand we look for a house instead of an apartment? Because an apartment seems like a downgrade to me. It is. It is. And I'm going to tell you, you can make all the demands you want, but I doubt it if he will comply. Why should he? Why should he? You gave him sex. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. And I'm going to tell you, ladies, during that time before you had sex with him, why didn't you take the time to get to know him? All of these things should have come out in the dating. In the dating. But now, here you are. He's already shown you that he doesn't want any part of this baby. That's why he moved out. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want that responsibility. Now he's talking about moving into an apartment together. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you leave your home? I don't care how modest it is. If it's yours, it's yours. And that's your power, whether you realize it or not. When you move into an apartment, you throwing your power away to the wind just to be with this man. It will be the biggest mistake ever if you do that. If you do that, I would suggest you stay in your home and raise your child. And if you need to do it alone, do it alone. Do it alone. There's no shame in that. I raised my kids on my own because the men did not measure up. That's why. That's why I refuse to stay with a man that does not measure up. So I did it on my own. And you can too. Don't be afraid to be independent. You don't need him. If he wants to step up to the plate and be a man, you understand? That's a different story. Go for it. But if he's not, I say leave him. I wouldn't worry just because he's a father or dad or whatever. I wouldn't keep fighting this man about moving into a house. But remember this, ladies. If you move out of your modest home that you can afford, apparently, to move into a bigger house with this man, even if he decides, okay, let's get a bigger house. If he flakes on you or decides to walk away from you, can you afford that house on your own? You need to think about that, because there's a lot of women who do just that. They'll move from their small homes to get a bigger home with a man, and then the man decides he don't want to pay the bill, or he don't want to be with you, or whatever the situation, and the women will lose it all because they took a gamble on moving into a home that they could not afford on their own. That's my point with that. That's my point with it's just too many women out here who are losing everything by moving into a big home with a man, and then when the relationship ends, they can't afford the home by themselves, and they end up losing it. Losing everything. Then they have to start all over in a little apartment. Start all over again. If you're already set up in a home, I would not move to another home unless I could afford it. I would not depend on his income or what he said he gonna do, or what he gonna do, or anything like that. I would not do it. The second thing is being an independent woman. I refuse to submit. Now, I will compromise. You understand? I will compromise, but I will not submit. I don't have to, and I won't. You understand? But if you come to me and we can sit down and we can talk it out and come to some understanding together, then if I can see the benefit in it, okay, let's go for it. But not just because you are a man that you can demand things of me and I would submit and do it. No, that's not going to happen. And independent women don't need to do that. You don't feel the need to do that. You understand? So I hope that you understand about that letter. I don't think that you should leave your home to move in any apartment with this man, because it would definitely be a downgrade. And who knows? He may want you to do that so you can lose your home. You never know these men's intention. You see, he can't have good intentions for you because he moved out as soon as you got pregnant. He did not stay there to take care of you, to make sure you had what you needed, you and the baby and all of that. He moved out. He's already showing you that he does not have your best intentions in his mind. Okay? So I hope that you understand that one. Now let's look at another letter here. Another young lady. I am 37 years, currently dating a 57-year-old man. Okay. You're almost 40. He's almost 60. That's about a 20-year difference. Okay. Neither of us have children. I'm in Florida and he's in Texas. A long distance relationship. All right. You know what I say about those? They're almost impossible. Long distance relationships are hard because how can you know the person? He's too far away. So let's look at what else you say here. We were introduced by my sister. They used to work together and they've known each other since the 90s. I got out of an 8-year relationship and he got divorced in 2008 and hasn't been in any serious relationship since. We've been talking since March. We've hit it off real quick. Conversations are very lengthy and we fell for each other. His intentions are to marry and mine too. He's been very transparent about that, and I as well. We've been talking about marriage already. Now listen. How can you be already talking about marriage with somebody that you don't even know? Now, you can talk about your intentions about being married and, but I'm hoping that you're not rushing to something because it's obvious you don't know this man. Your sister knew him as a co-worker, but that's different than knowing somebody. You understand? He visited me in April and we had intimacy. I guess this was the first time that you actually slept with him. I felt like I wanted to do it, so I did. We had a great time, but I have a few reservations. He made it seem like he looked younger than his age, but to me, he actually looked older. I am a little afraid of the age gap now. Okay. It was probably more than his age that made you think about the age gap. You say you enjoyed the sex, but it must have been something about it that kind of turned you off. Maybe his appearance, because he was older. Maybe his physique isn't what you thought it should be or thought it ought to be. You understand? But you definitely got turned off when you got intimate with him. Okay? He's financially well off. I don't make nearly as much as he does, and he keeps saying he wants me to do great things, that I'm smart, and he thinks I'm not living up to my full potential. My financial situation is not very good at the moment. He said that he could help me study, something that I want, so I can make more money, because when we have children, we would need 2 incomes, but that he doesn't want me to hop from one thing to the other and never do anything with it like his ex did. Okay, all right. So apparently already he's comparing you to his ex. And that's not a good thing to do. He's still got baggage from his ex that he's putting on you. Understand? And now he's going to be pressuring you to do something to make more money, because he says, I don't know if it's you saying it or he saying it, that you need two incomes when you have children. That's the way he thinks, or that's the way you think. He didn't say, you said that because when we have children, we would need two incomes. Why? If he makes good money, why you need two incomes? The second income ought to be for you and what the things that you need, not for support. Not for support. You understand? Why would why would you marry? Why would you even think about marrying a man who's already pressuring you to make more money? Why would you do that? And he's telling you that he could help you study and all of that. He's already telling you he's not going to marry you unless you're making a substantial income. He's looking for a business arrangement. Okay? That's what he's looking for. And with a business arrangement, he doesn't really need to get to know you. And if you go for it, that's what you're going to have. A business arrangement where both of your incomes will help to support the family or whatever. But I'm going to tell you something about that. Because I know couples who they both have good incomes. Right? They both have good incomes. But the man uses a lot of his income for his entertainment and enjoyment, where the woman uses her income to support whatever the kids need. You understand? Whatever she needs for groceries or whatever in the house needs. You understand? She puts all her money into the house, where he uses a lot of his money for his entertainment. I've seen that way too many times. Way too many times. Where the man is actually should be the provider. He should actually be the provider. Not you. You understand? He already setting you up to provide. Okay? Now let's see what else you say in this letter. Honestly, I feel like I jumped too soon and didn't take the time to get to know him better. You got that right. You jumped way too soon. But don't marry him. I feel like the dating experience is not there. We've been talking every day and it feels like an old relationship already. Yeah, because it's on the phone. You're not doing anything together. You're not being together. No, you don't know him and he doesn't know you. But he feels like he can tell you to make more money. No. Sometimes I'm afraid he just wants me to be his work buddy and to be his nurse as he gets older. Yeah, probably. That's why he wants to make sure you make a solid income so that you can carry it when he can't anymore. You understand? Or he won't anymore. Like I said, I know couples where the woman makes a hefty salary and so does he. He spends his on whatever he wants and she spends hers on the family. You understand? And, you know, it can go on and on. When he decides to retire or whatever, you're young. He's going to still expect for you to be working. Even when he retires, which if he's a 57, it won't be long. It won't be long before he retires. Okay? I haven't had the experience of a guy sweeping me off my feet. Should I keep dating and getting to know him even if it's a long distance relationship? Do you think it's worth it with the age gap and even if he's serious about marriage and having a family? I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. Number one is, how can this man think about marriage so fast? It makes me question if he is financially stable. I assume that you're either going with what he said his income is, or what your sister said his income used to be. You can't always go by that. You understand? With him so far away, you don't know what his situation is. You didn't say in the letter whether he has invited you there so you can see his living situation or not. You said he came to you. It's a one way. You need to know more about him. But I just don't have faith in long distance relationships. You can't get to know this man and all of the aspects of this man. Especially he talked about marriage. A lot of times when men are rushing to marriage, it's a desperate situation that you don't know about. Most men are hesitant to marry. They hesitant. And if this man is financially stable, he will be taking his time. Believe me. I believe this man may be lying to you. Now, let me see. How long have you been talking to him? You've only been talking to this man since March of this year? What are we? March of this year. You just been talking to him. And already he's talking about marriage? No. No. This is bad news. No. You see, if this man had anything, if he was financially stable and set up and had a home and all that, he would take his time. He wouldn't even be talking about marrying you. He would take his time to get to know you for real, because he wouldn't want to bring anybody into his solid situation that could destroy his life. You understand? For this man to be rushing to marriage, he's got an ulterior motive. And it's not a good one. Not for you. Not for you. No, I would not advise you to marry this man or to continue with him. It sounds like a dead end to me. You understand? If you want to, which you should, better yourself, you don't need his help to study. If you want to study, you can do that on your own. You can be whatever you want to be. You don't need the help of anybody else to be it. So don't let people talk you into, you need me to help you to be something or help you to create something or what. You don't need anybody. All of these things, you have the power to create the life that you want for yourself. You see? And men dangle that marriage carrot in front of you because they know a lot of women want to get married. But you only want to get married because you've been sold this bill of goods that in marriage your life is going to be wonderful. Your life is going to be wonderful if you just can get married. It's too many women in a living hell being married. You don't know what goes on when that door closes. You're just looking from the outside in. And it looks good because people, they act like, they care about each other and they looking good or whatever. When they close that door, you don't know what's going on. You understand? Women, this message is about being independent. And quit chasing after these men. You don't need them. When you're independent and you're strong and confident, you're still feminine. You're not masculine. Men are telling you that because they don't want you to be independent. They want you to be dependent on them so that they can control you. That's all it is. It's a trap. It's a trap, women, and know it. And it doesn't matter if you're young or an older woman. The same things happen. I get letters from old women talking about getting remarried. For what? For what? Now, I hope that you're not one of those women who are looking for a man to support them. You're headed for disaster if you're looking for that. You're headed for disaster. Now, there are some men out here who are good men and will provide for you and all of that. But it's still nothing wrong with you being independent. I don't see a problem with it because you're willing to compromise but not submit. You understand? There is a difference. So I think I've gone on long enough. I'm going to end it here. But I just hope that you understand this message. And I want you all just to love yourself. Know your worth. Know how valuable you are. And don't let anybody make you feel less than. Okay? Now, for those of you who would like for me to answer your questions, here it is. Send your questions to Miss Faye's World at hotmail.com. That's Miss Faye's World at hotmail.com. Now, keep your letters to one page if you can. Just summarize the situation and ask the question. All right? And for those of you who would like for me to respond through the email, just put it at the top of your letter and I will comply. And the others, if the response to your letter I feel that will help the collective, I will read it online and respond here. Understand? So if you sent your letter in, you haven't gotten a response yet, just be patient. Your response is coming. But I want you to know that I appreciate you all so very much. And thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thank you for your comments, your letters, and your donations. I appreciate you so much. So I wish you well, and I hope to see you next time.